Good afternoon, everybody. I know everybody's excited for the next video, so here it is. Before we get started, I want to just say thank you so much to everybody for being so supportive and all the kind words from my last video. I went way outside of my comfort zone in doing that, so I was overwhelmed by all the kind words and the support that I got. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. We are actually going to make what I call a DNA strand spinner. This one takes a little bit more practice, okay, but still definitely doable and fairly simple to do, okay? And what we do in order to start that is we cut an oblong piece, okay? So just like in my video last time, we have an oblong, and I made this a little bit smaller to fit on a sheet of paper, but we have an oblong with a line that represents the table ledge. So that's where you're actually going to put the piece when you go to heat it, okay? So the line should be just along the table ledge. So if you take your piece, you're gonna put this over here, okay? Then I've added some new lines to this and what I'm calling the heat bend lines. And this spinner is a little bit different in that you're not going to twist the whole thing at one time. You're actually going to do sections at a time, right? For a couple reasons. One, you don't want to break it, and you want to just take your time bending. And the way that this works is you want these things to sort of be even. So if you do little sections at a time, it's a lot more manageable, okay? So the next thing I just want to mention real quick is this file, you can resize up or down. There's a caveat to that, however. When you're resizing down, you want to be careful how small you make this because you don't want these lines to be too close together. If they're too close together, when you heat it, you could actually melt them together, which will be a disaster. If you go up, you pretty much don't have any issues at all, but you just want to be careful how small you make it, okay? So again, what we're going to do is we're going to lay this on the table. The line that's right here is actually going to be just to the left, right, of where this set of lines ends, because you want to try to heat both at the same time so that you can twist it at the same time. So here we go. First thing we're going to do is put on our gloves because this does get a little bit hot. This isn't as wide as the circle was. So you want to make sure you have your gloves on. So let's go ahead and move this out of the way. And we're going to put this along the table ledge, just like we talked about. Table ledge is there, right here, and we're going to put this just to the left, the table ledge just to the left of the end of those lines. We're going to turn on our heat gun to about a little bit over a medium setting, okay? And you're going to turn your fan on high. What we want to try to do is try to focus just on the top section here at a time. Like I said, by default, you're going to heat this a little bit all the way down anyway, but at least try to keep it focused on that section at a time. You also want to do the clear side up so that you don't ruin your print. And we'll just do this here for a couple minutes, okay? And it won't take long. You can see it starts to sort of get a little bit pliable as you go, okay? In just a couple minutes. And as you start to see it get a little bit softer, right, you're going to turn off your heat gun, set it down, and then you're going to twist, okay, just slightly. And you'll see we kept the bottom pretty well intact, right? So as you twist, right, there you go, twist, okay? And just sort of let it sit for a little bit and maybe even hang it so that you make sure that it gets straight. And then let it cool a little bit. Now, we're next going to do this section here. When you do that, don't be surprised that this also gets a little warm again, so you'll just have to be real careful about how you do that. So we're going to do about this section right here next. Now, the difference between this and the last spinner is that this time, you're actually going to hold the spinner when you do it, because you can no longer lie it flat. But you got the idea, okay? It's not going to take long. It down and then work the next piece. And again, it's still hard there at the bottom. So now you kind of see why we're doing it a section at a time. So if you start to look down, you can see how we're getting that nice DNA strand look, okay? So let's keep going. After we've got it cooled down a little bit, you can just twist and just do it real gently. Don't drop it. And then you'll do the next section here. And again, it doesn't take long because you've already been heating it as it was before. Turn it off. You'll see you heating it again, and you'll twist again. And sort of keep it straight, okay? And you can see what I'm doing here. So as it gets warmer, it becomes a lot easier to twist, okay? So there you go. And let it cool for a second or two. And you may even want to turn it upside down so that your spinner keeps its vertical shape. As you can see, it starts to get warm, right? So turn it off. Twist again. Okay. And so that's it. So you'll keep going all the way down till you get to the bottom. Let it cool in between each try. And then if you find after you've done all that, that you need to reshape a few pieces, you can run the heat gun over it a little bit just to warm it back up again. And just each time make sure it's straight, okay? So that it retains that nice straight shape. And it's really easy to sort of get that stepped look. By the time you're done, you're gonna end up with this. And you'll attach your piece to the bottom right here, and you're done. Great. So just like last time, feel free to DM me if you want the file, and or if you got the file for me last time, you know the drill. Just tell me that you want the file and shoot me your email address. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.